Namaste and welcome to Youth and Development, produced by Today's Youth Asia. In the TV show Youth and Development, we bring young leaders face to face with key players of development work. My name is Deepika and today we're privileged to have with us Mr. Sujit Mandal. Mr. Mandal is the Director and Audit Committee member of Standard Chartered Bank Nepal. He's recently retired from the position of Chief Executive Officer of Standard Chartered Bank Nepal and has over 3 decades of experience in the banking sector. Could you tell us about your previous role in Nepal?
I came here in 2003, month of February, as Chief Executive Officer of this unit. At that point in time, this bank was a purely joint venture bank. 50% owned by Nepal Bank Limited and 50% was owned by Standard Chartered PLC, that's the group. And the journey started from there in this role. And when I came, the country was in political conundrum, and so it was full of challenges. And another thing simultaneously happened, which was very internal, because Standard Chartered took over Greenlays on a global basis. And this particular joint venture was a joint venture with Greenlays. So it's a completely different set, a different culture. And it is very difficult when somebody get absorbed by somebody to absorb into that culture, to get into that culture. So my job was of more of a change agent as opposed to a chief executive officer to start with. And so the task was Herculean, it was multifarious task, not only to drive the business but also bring an uniformity in culture between Standard Chartered and ex-Greenlays. Well, I found people who were very good, extremely good people, and they were very cooperative. They listened to the conversations, they responded very well. Despite all this political conundrum and economic drawback, basically drop down in the economic rate of growth, the bank did very well. And so journey started then, and then we achieved many milestones. And I stepped down in the month of May this year, 2011, so it was a long journey of more than 8 years. And it was stress and strain, but at the same time a lot of delight, a lot of pride. And we achieved many milestones. The bank has done fantastic. Our post-tax profit grew by more than 100%, in an economy which is on an average performing 3% GDP growth. Sometimes it was negative growth, degrowth. So all in all, and we did build up a fantastic franchise here. It's a very, very good franchise for Standard Chartered. Even when we measure against other similar countries in the group, we operate in more than 70 countries. So I think Nepal stands out very well. And we got so many awards, and including Bankers Awards for twice. And last year we got. And I think it's just a delightful experience, and I still enjoy my association with Standard Chartered. I'm on the board, and I'm a non-executive director now, and I also sit in the audit committee. And I have another role. I have a role for South Asia, basically as an advisor to the regional chief executive officer, who is stationed in Mumbai.
While 8 years of working in Nepal, what was the most successful year?
I think each year was more successful than the previous one. That's how I want to explain. I don't want to restrict to one particular year. Each year we were achieving milestones. We were growing year over the year. But 1 or 2 events which really I will carry with me throughout my life. One is that I mentioned to you when I came here, it was a joint venture, 50-50 joint venture with Nepal Bank. And it was year 2004, toward the end of 2004, and you can understand what was the political scenario here. Nobody was willing to put in even a single dollar into this country. At that point in time, I managed to persuade the group and also managed to get approval from the government, that is Central Bank of Nepal, that is Nepal Rashtra Bank, to pick up 25% of the stake from our joint venture partner because they were diluting their holding to zero. So that translated into a $21 million single largest FDI till now into this country from the group, and then it had become, this franchise became a subsidiary of the group, I think, which was a great achievement, because I think it was very difficult but very gracefully executed. That was one of the landmark. And I think I'm the only non-Nepali person who got this award over the last 30 years of its existence. So I thought that was a great, blessing on me from the people of Nepal, or rather recognition. I take pride in it, actually.
Sir, in your opinion, what elements in terms of economic growth and business should be improved in Nepal?
If I may say one particular word, I think that would capture everything. I think we need thorough discipline and good standard of governance. I think both two are missing from the political sector and also from the business sector. I think we need to really overhaul and really critically appraise the governance system in the country and also in the business world. Without a strict and proper governance system, things will not work. And thing is this, that this country is endowed with so many natural resources. It's a natural spot for tourism, So there are a lot of scope for this economy to grow. And I have every reason to believe, and I'm an optimist, and I will continue to hold very high optimism about the future of this country. So I think, if we discipline ourselves a little bit in terms of our political, efforts, and also in the businesses, particularly in the financial sector, with which I am associated with, little more discipline, little more governance, I think it will create a very strong foundation for an economy to grow.
Can you tell us about some landmarks that you remember while working in Nepal?
I had a chance to visit very thoroughly this country, and I still keep on visiting, whenever I get an opportunity. I had an opportunity to do trekking in Annapurna range a bit, which was from Pokhara, which was very great experience. I did a bit of trekking in Shivpuri, which was also good. I traveled to many other places, and I still have a desire to go to Lumini, which I have not been able to do, which I have a plan to do. The country is holistically beautiful. Sitting here, you can see the snow-capped range. What more you want, And so I think very beautiful country. Each and every place has its own beauty to offer. And you know that I came from a country which has also variety to offer. So on a comparative basis, I like Nepal. It's very good. I have been to Darjeeling many times, but this has this unique appeal and approach, which is also enhanced to a great extent by the people, the culture and the people.
So, what is the difference in your previous and current work in Nepal?
Yeah, it's a marked difference. I was involved in purely executive job, but thought process was also there, strategic thinking was also there. But now I am more on the governance side and also on the strategic side. So I am off from the day-to-day, what you call the folklore of day-to-day. I am off from that, but I am seeing the other side of the coin, which is equally good and enjoyable. But the marked difference is that it's away from the executive, difficulties. It's very kind of more intellectual kind of job, which I enjoy.
Sir, how do you rate Nepal's banking sector in the comparison to their counterpart in Asia?
I would say that banking sector over the last 8, 9 or 10 years, I think it has developed, definitely developed. There are a lot of additions in the numbers. and a lot of products are now being sold into this market. The retail banking has grown, the personal banking has grown substantially, including commercial banking, that is industrial banking has also grown, which is called institutional finance, which has also grown. But question is this, that if we compare this with a slightly bigger country like Bangladesh, I think we are behind, and with Sri Lanka also we are behind, and with India is no comparison. I would compare because I have spent about 3 decades, slightly more than 3 decades in banking, so I can remember my earlier days when I joined Standard Chartered. It is behind by about 20 years.
How has Nepal been affected by global recession?
See, contagion effect of the global financial fallout has also affected Nepal. If you see from the macroeconomic viewpoint, although instantly there was no pressure felt, I was very much in the thicket of that when it was happening in 2008 here. But I can see the commodities, particularly which we import, got a big beating, and many business houses lost crores of rupees, and that had subdued the economic growth for 2008 and 2009 to some extent, not to a substantial extent. So it's not that it was out with the global impact. It has affected Nepal, and the global impact is still very much on. I think Eurozone crisis is still very much there. US economy is yet to get a strong foothold. They are yet to stabilize. So it will take 5-6 years in my reckoning.
So you have written 2 books on poetry. Where do you see the correlation between your work and the creative pursuit?
I don't think it is necessary. One is the very personal emotions coming out in the forms of books or whatever writings I have done or I continue to do. And I also do a lot of sketches. So that's very personal side of it. And professional side, I try to keep both sides very different. But the correlation is, it inspires me in my work. And if I may be allowed to say 1 or 2 small examples, you see, I attended a program long time back in Oxford, not long time back, a few years back, and there it was a leadership program, and there was a very beautiful program within the programs. Is Shakespeare relevant for business today, for strategy today? Amazing subject. And we found that, Shakespeare is very relevant today, in the sense that if you read Henry VIII, you will find that how he strategized his army to save England, dying England from an onslaught from the French people. So I think literature or culture, it is very much a source of or a catalyst in terms of doing well in the professional life. So that is a correlation, if I may call it a correlation.
How does positive and creative thinking contribute to the success of a business leader?
I think I have mostly answered that. I think it's all about mind. When you deal with some intellectual problems, I think your creative mind comes and helps you to strategize or to execute or on the spot. It's all come together. I think you cannot segregate that, and it has to be very spontaneous. That's how I feel. It has to be very spontaneous. I think they go hand in hand. There is no opposition to each other. I don't think so.
There are people who prefer to share their knowledge and earn more money abroad. So do you think that the country should raise the wages in any sector?
It's a very well debated subject. I think there are many sectors which need a critical relook at the salary structure, because the salary structures are done, and if it is not reviewed in tandem with the market situation, there would be discontentment amongst the people, and brain drain will start happening. Well, Nepal is not only that. Nepal job opportunities are less, so people had to resort to going out of the country and taking a lot of trouble. Same was the case with India. Well, now India has grown, and so people have started coming back. So I think that's a valid and meritful question, and it needs critical relook, and a relook not for once. It's an ongoing exercise. That's how I feel.
So while growing up, were there any obstacles that you had to face in order to pursue your career?
There are a lot of obstacles. I was born and raised in Calcutta, and West Bengal is ill known for its leftist movements for the last so many years. Problem was this, that after independence, Bengal was partitioned. East Bengal became Pakistan, East Pakistan, which subsequently got independence and became Bangladesh. And so there was a huge migration of people, Hindu population, from Hindu Bengalis from East Bengal to West Bengal. So that had created a huge problem in terms of infrastructure, in terms of job, in terms of many things, housing, in terms of food, in terms of maintenance, so on and so forth. When I was born, I was born in a well-educated middle-class family, and the life was, childhood was good, schooling was very good. After schooling, when we went to the college, we started feeling the problem, in the sense that was late 60s when we started going to college, and I studied in President's College, which is one of the best colleges in India till now. And then that Naxalite movement started, which can be rechristened as Maoist movement, and that continued for 5-7 years, which has really ravaged the West Bengal's economy, education system, every damn thing, culture, social culture. During that period of difficulty, we were grown, we did our masters, and there was no job, no one was interested. Each and every business house was closing. So I studied organic chemistry, and I did my masters in organic chemistry, and then I joined my college as a part-time lecturer in organic molecular chemistry. But the college got closed in early 70s, and so we had to seek alternatives. So that's how I switched on to banking.
So after all this struggle, what inspired you to take up banking as a career?
Well, it was as I told you, my initial 2-3 years were very difficult. Every day I used to go to office, and I never did this cash banking or this kind of things. I was regional manager's office. I was in Eastern India regional manager's office, and I was given corporate banking to work with, which is very intellectual job, But it was all unknown to me. So every day I used to find life is difficult, and I used to come and tell mom that, look, from tomorrow possibly I'm not going. Somehow I had to go, and every month I thought, this is my last month in the bank. Next month I'm not here. This kept on dragging for 3-4 years. Then I went to London. The bank selected me, and that turned my life. I started enjoying what banking is all about, and that inspired me to stay on, basically. And I was very fortunate that I always did the kind of job I wanted to do. So it was it was a fortunate event for me that I never had to go for. It does not mean that I am saying other jobs are less. Every job, even cash counter clerk, is very important job. If you make a minor mistake, the money will have to pay from your pocket. Perhaps I could never have done that well, which many other people are doing with so much alacrity. So what I am trying to say that, it was a bit of good luck that helped me to do a job which I wanted to do. It was more intellectual orientation was there, sales was there, creativity was there, designing products were there, credit was there, foreign exchange was there, trading was there. So variety of job I did actually, and I enjoyed thoroughly. That kept me inspired. I kept changing job I went out of my zone of comfort, and I took up challenges. Here in Nepal also I experimented with many people, going beyond the boundary, my comfort zone, taking a challenge with people, and they are all very successful.
How can we youths contribute towards the development of the national economy of Nepal?
I think you are on the threshold of building a career. This is very, very important phase in your life, as I understand, and you need to choose what you want to do. Now that in this country and in most of the countries, a lot of opportunities are open. In our time, we had very little, choice left to us in terms of selecting subjects or combining subjects. There was a fixed frame, and we need to work within the framework. That's why we had to work hard, and that was one of the major challenges that was posed to us, not only me, to everybody of my contemporary time. For you have a much bigger choice. Bigger plate is offered to you. Whatever you do, you do well, and you stand committed to it. You stand committed to it, and and another point I would say, I have seen the tendency, because I also teach in Kusum, and I have seen a tendency, inherent tendency in your generation, Gen X, to somehow pass and leave the country. I think you need to get rid of that. Leaving the country is no big recipe. Whichever country you go, even if you get US citizenship, you are not first-class citizen. You need to remember that. Because you are the branch of one tree, cannot be set into another tree. Always remember this. Your root is here, in this subcontinent. And you need to feel indebted to this country, to your own motherland, that it has provided you with all the elements of growth. You have come up to this level, not living in America, hopefully not, living in this country. So you need to have some feel of indebtedness. So even if you go abroad, stay 2 years, 3 years, do your studies, come back, or improve yourself and come back with the technology, with the knowledge, with the mindset, with the freeness, so that you can contribute to the national economy. There is no simple as such recipe. Recipe is commitment to yourself and to this land. Then and only then you'll be able to contribute. I think there is no other recipe. But if you think that, look, somehow I will complete an undergrad, dad has got a lot of money, will send me for undergrad, from there I'll do my master's and I'll stay back there, then you will have no contribution to this country. What, $1,000, $5,000 you send, what does it matter to this country? I don't think so. So you need to come back and work. Why I have decided to come back to Nepal time and again, because I thought this particular country, I feel indebted because it has given me enough.
How can we, the younger generation, inspire ourselves to reach up to your position?
As I said just now, you need to do your work best and leave the rest to somebody up above the world. I think that is the best thing. Otherwise, if you always feel that I didn't get this, I didn't get that, peace will be evading you all the time. We all have come with some kind of chart. That's what I very firmly believe. I have seen things happening which were unexpected to people. So you do your job, your work best, and be honest. I think self-inspiration, motivation will come to you, and you will overcome all the obstacles. Maybe a little bit struggle will be there, and if you get things without struggle, you will not evaluate it properly. If Dad gives you a car and you drive that car, you will never realize what is the value of it. Once you go and earn and buy a car, you will have many more times commitment and love and evaluation of that car in your mind. Job is like that. If you do your job well, there is someone up above the sky, I think, will take care of you. That's my philosophy of life, which I very firmly believe. And I told my daughter, who's slightly older than you, and I always keep telling her that is how you should look at life. Otherwise, peace will be evasive. You need to know what you want in life. I think peace is also very important in life. If you aspire too much and if you get too little, where will you stand, you tell me? You need to understand what you want and what is how much you can do. If you can evaluate yourself well, I think you will do well. I cannot tell you whether you reach a chief executive position, which is very difficult. I am not an astrologer, but I can tell you that if you do your job well, I am very sure that you will reach your milestones. Either today, tomorrow, day after tomorrow. It's a matter of time.
How do you see Nepal in 10 years from now?
I think Nepal will grow substantially. 10 years is a long time, a decade. I personally feel it will, I won't say it will become heaven. I won't say that. I'm a realistic person. But it will definitely improve. Substantial improvement. It will attract investment. It will become a destination for people to come, much more than what they are coming. And it will prosper like anything. A double-digit growth for this economy is no big deal. And it will become a surplus economy. If we coordinate ourselves well, if we remain peaceful, and if we work slightly more than what we are doing. We don't need to work 24 hours, but if we work little more than what we are working, I think this country will be a great country. Great country. I have every hope, and I'm very optimistic about it.
Thank you, Mr. Mandal, for being with us today and sharing your insightful thoughts and ideas. Thank you for watching us. We look forward to your feedback. Our email address is youthtya@gmail.com. We'll be back next week at the same time. Have a nice week. Namaste.